I sound like butter.
Butter.
I look like butter.
Land O'Lakes.
I live like butter. They can't be butter. If they were, then they be butter. You know what I'm saying?
Go.
That's why there's margarine. That's why there's, I can't believe it's not butter.
Can't believe it.
Butter attracts bread. Butter makes everything taste better.
I think that's love. Like when people say like it was made with love, I think that's butter.
Oh, I like that. I like that. We gonna put that on the shirt. Hashtag made with love. Hashtag put it on the shirt.
That's butter.
That's butter, baby. You're tuned into Talk Ain't Cheap podcast. I'm with a really amazing friend of mine, young man, entrepreneurial. Really was doing a lifestyle shit before everybody else low key was. Like if you want to talk about, you was really doing lifestyle shit before it was popular.
A little bit.
You are a very unique person.
I try.
You are like against every status quo that I think will be set for a man like you. You kind of like the most you are the most unimposed person I've ever met in my life.
I'm bowing right now.
So you can introduce yourself, brother of mine.
Hello. My name is Joachim Koka. That's really it. That's all I gotta say right now. I'd rather just talk.
Yes, sir. Where you from?
I'm from Hunter, New York.
Hunter, New York.
Yeah. So the usual like pitch I do is it's a little ski mountain. According to Wikipedia, the town population is like 3,000. Mm-hmm. Like there was only one public school in the area, and my class had 44 people in it, and that was one of the bigger classes.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. So, yeah, man, I grew up there forever. My dad used to work in the city, so I'd spend some weekends in Yonkers, but other than that, I've kind of spent a majority of like my young adulthood growing up in the sticks and the boonies.
Wow. Well, what's your nationality, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all. I'm Hungarian, 100%.
That's dope as fuck. Have you ever been there? Hungary?
A long time ago.
Man, let's go.
We out. I got family there. Most of my family is over there. It's not that cold. It's about the same as New York.
Right. We out to Hungary.
We out.
Man.
I've been meaning to go back, but like I feel like a certain obligation to learn the language.
Fair.
Before I go back, because I didn't learn it when I was a kid, and it's a really hard language to learn.
No, I feel that, because that's like me and being Nigerian. I haven't been to Nigeria in like God knows how many years. I'd say arguably maybe over 10 years, and to speak my language, I feel like would be a different kind of respect or a different kind of acceptance than just going there and I'm like a super Americanized person, and I was like, it's
kind of like I feel a little like bastardized or bastardization, whatever it is, not knowing the language, because all the time people are like, well, do you know? And I'm like, no, I don't. So I think it's really because I think my parents were still really trying to Americanize.
Yes.
When I was a kid.
Yes.
Like my mom was working a lot in bars and stuff. Like that's where she learned how to speak English. And my dad, I don't know if I'm saying this just because I'm used to it, but I don't think he has an accent.
Yeah.
My mom does. My mom, Joachim, that's my boy. This is my handsome boy.
Nah, I feel that too, bro. Same here. My parents definitely have an accent. I don't know if they were trying to Americanize too. But I also think it has to do with, like you said, like at that time being an immigrant or coming.
When did they come here?
The 80s.
Yeah, my mom and dad came here in '89. My mom was 19 when she came here.
So they were trying to really assimilate. Mm-hmm. They weren't really. They left because of obviously reasons like whatever. It's like civil stress. If it's something happened in society, etc., etc. So I think they did come here with the intention that their children will have more of the American freedoms.
100%.
Cultures and stuff like that. So I agree.
100%. My parents are like super patriotic in a way, and which is funny because I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's never to like just seem ungrateful, but it's just like my parents grew up in Hungary when it was under the Soviet Union. So much in life is like when I talk to someone, I try to say a lot like from my vantage point and my frame of reference, because that all our opinions and thoughts I think really derive from
our experiences,
your experience, your vantage point, and your frame of reference.
Agreed. I agree completely. So that's dope. That's dope. So now let's take it back. Now I met you in college.
Yes.
You went to St. Rose.
Yes. Guilty.
You my guy.
Out here.
And then we've been rocking and rolling ever since you're part of Groove 5 Groove.
Out here.
which is a social fellowship.
Correct.
And the reason behind it is, if tell me if I'm wrong, my groove, is because the Greek system is flawed, and how could you be of a flawed system with pride? Basically saying, if you are a black man, quote unquote, why would you want to be considered Greek when you should really be more African? And a fraternity is also like a Greek kind of thing. So a social fellowship is what it is. It's a social brotherhood. It's a friendship. It's more essential than actually wanting to be down because of a fraternal order or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly spot on. I mean, this might be known to like a lot of people, might not be, but like, do you know where the word fraternity like really started from?
Same, like fraternal?
Yeah.
Like
No. The word fraternity originally was like men teaching younger men how to be men, and they did that through sexual acts. And that's where and that's part of the reason too why Groove doesn't identify with that term fraternity. So it's in and of itself it being Greek, but also its origins of not being the most tasteful activities.
That's freaky as hell.
I mean, and like if you listen to like certain like Childish Gambino said it in the song Sweatpants. He just real quickly was like, y'all fuck boys like Socrates. That wasn't just funny. That's why he said it. So I mean, I always tell like interest though, and I don't really be that active anymore. I mean, this spring I'll be in it for 6 years. Like, I'm an old head. I'm an old head. I graduated in 2015. Like, it's not my business to be doing it like that no more. But I always tell an interest though, or just anybody, and this holds true for everything though. It's just educate yourself.
Yeah,
educate yourself and make an informed decision. You like as a grown man, you're gonna do what you want to do at the end of the day. But I'm gonna tell you this: I want you to fact check me. So, yeah, man. Because anybody will believe anything if you say it with enough conviction. True. When I meet people I don't want to talk to, hi, I'm Bruce. Wow, I don't know a lot of Bruces. No, you don't.
I could tell.
Here I am. I was just man. I really got to do stuff like that. Like, and for me, this was like the final nail in the coffin. Like, I went to Starbucks. This is my order, Joachim. Joe? Whatever. Okay. That was one time. My last name is Koka. So I went, I was like, Koka. They're like, Coco? And I'm like,
okay.
And then I was like, okay, JK. And I got it. And then it was Jake. And I was like, fuck y'all. It's Bruce.
No, because you know what I started doing? I realized that I think as a people or as a culture, we need aliases. We have alter egos that help alleviate issues. I believe like Butter is just another side of Cletus. Like, I Am Cletus as a brand is a brand, but if you look past it, I've always had mad aliases. Like, people used to call me the Prince when I was younger. Like, Black Jesus, Black and Shine. Like, I always had a different kind of alias, and Butter's just another one. So when I think about it, it's kind of like, yeah, I think that sometimes you got to give people, you have to make people kind of distant sometimes, because if you let
with
people,
a persona,
with a persona, because if you let people in, they think they know you, they think they understand you, they think they're entitled to certain things, they think that they're able to tell you certain things.
Why do you think people have such like an affinity for this idea of like an other self?
I just think because some people are just not happy with their lives, and I think that people aren't like one-dimensional. I think that there are people who have like split personalities. I do believe that there are people that are very different and have different sides to them. So I think that's maybe what it is. I don't think it's so much like people have an affinity, more so like they need, like they just want to do it all the fucking time. I
think there's an infatuation with it though. Like, even like what I think about a lot, well, right now at least, is when T.I. did the Tip versus T.I. or T.I. versus T.I.P. whatever it was. Like, even when people talk about like Drake, they're like, oh, which Drake are we getting? Grime Boy, Drizzy. So I think people really, kind of like what you were saying, they create this persona of like this idea that they want to be, and they project that idea into social that persona. Media. Don't get me started, man. Social media, it's such like, that's part of the reason why sometimes like I archive all my posts. Like, yo, are you okay? I'm like, it makes me mysterious. But it's I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so, you have to take it all with a grain of salt. Everybody seems like they're doing well. I seem like I'm doing well. I'm not doing great. I'm not at all. Like one thing I'm very open and candid about is my experience with mental health.
Yeah.
Like I go see someone, I take medication to manage my anxiety, but it wouldn't seem that way because I intentionally portray an image of, or an idea of, someone that is stoic and has it together and, you know, all these things, but that's really not the case. So I think a lot of it has to do with awareness too. And if you identify where you place your insecurities, you might be more privy to catching it in other people.
So how long have you been fighting your anxiety? Because this is news to me, and I've known you for some years now. I could tell sometimes that, you know, but you always seem like you're always in good company, that it doesn't come out to the point that it's uncomfortable for you.
I mean, it's all a matter of being present. You know, the more present I am, the less it's an issue, and it's easy to be more present when you're in good company. But no, it's something, you know, I think if it's something that, so people talk about like mental health and mental health issues a lot right now. Like it's kind of like a hot topic. It's, you know, kind of like a bailout for some people. But, you know, you can be depressed without having depression. And I'm not saying that's necessarily what I have, but to answer your question of how long I've been dealing with it, a while. But I've only been really addressing it
Recently.
Within the past few years. And it actually took a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I know that she was going like a lot. And I was like, oh, but I think I said something to the effect of my situation, or I know it's not as bad as yours or something like that. And it's bullshit. Like I hate when people say, oh, it could be worse. It could always be worse. It doesn't take away from what you're going through. I think people are entitled to feel what they're feeling. You need to feel what you're feeling, and to kind of get into this idea, a lot of people now ignore their feelings and they don't allow themselves to heal so that they can portray that idea of themselves on social media. But nah, man, people need to like, you got to take the good with the bad. You have to. You have to lean into the bad. You have to. I really like quotes and just like little, like, it makes me feel like a wise sage or some shit when I drop them out. But like one that I read that I really enjoy is, if it was sunshine all the time, there'd be a drought.
Yeah.
Like the universe commands balance. It demands balance. So, but some people go through it more than others. And I was telling my mans yesterday, actually, like, you just need to ask yourself, are you willing to feel this way any longer? And do you deserve to feel this way? And for me, I was like, I don't deserve this. I need to address it.
That's facts. I feel that way too. Since I've been back in New York City, I ain't gonna lie, this experience has been crazy. More so because it's the first time I've really been back in my mother's house. And then two, it's the first time that I don't have to just worry about myself. So things that I have to do is kind of like I have to do. Versus things that I care to do just for the sake of making me happy and then building legacy. Of course, I can't do it. So it's like, okay, when will I be able to do it? Like, time isn't on any man's side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could walk out today, go across the street, and something can plow me in my face, pose. And now my life is over. And I got to charge it to the game.
Yes.
Like, you know, I don't regret my life. I think I've lived a pretty dope-ass life. Like, God forbid something happened to me tomorrow, I'll be okay. Because I live great. Like, I have great friends. I eat decent, great food. I travel to great places. Like, I could go to Albany and come see you tomorrow. And I know I'm good. You could come here and be like, yo, I need a place to stay. And you like, it's just the relationships I have, to me, are the most meaningful relationships to me. But then I look at it at the same time, like, I'm lonely all the time. I don't talk to nobody. Like, I have no, like, love interest. I spend a lot of time trying to rest, recoup, or at the store. And that's my life. So to some people, that's misery. To me, that sometimes is misery too. But I try not to stay in those spaces because I know, like, a lot of people aren't even blessed to have just some of the things that I do have, which is just good friends. Like, I travel to Cali. I just go. I just go and I'm good. Like a lot of niggas can't do that. A lot of people don't know anybody past their hood. So,
I think a lot of that too. Like, so many people have like codependency issues. Like a lot of people. Drop something.
That's fine.
A lot of people. They don't know how to be alone, but be okay with their own company.
Fair.
And you could chalk that up to social media. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's a crazy world. But like, what do you mean? Like, misery?
For me,
let me like, why do you feel alone? Because when I think of you, the idea that I have of you is very much so relationship based. Like I know you as a person with many relationships.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what's a relationship? Like, it's kind of like, it's one thing that people mess with you when they need you, or they mess with you when it's convenient. It's one thing that people know you. But how many people can you call right now by, bro, I'm down and bad, I need someone to talk to?
I think that depends on the person, though.
Yeah.
I hate... I will not eat sometimes to the point that I'm full just because I feel weird doing stuff like that if I'm in someone else's space. So it may be because I'm more introverted by nature. It may be because I can be selfish. So because I can be, I try my best to not do the opposite in someone else's house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but that being said, I would call you if I need something. Like, I just don't call anybody. It takes a lot for me to be comfortable
to call somebody. Yeah.
Yes.
See, for me, I think it's weird because like a lot of people expect a lot from me. They'll expect people call me like, bro, especially when around parties. I'm the most popular motherfucker. My phone don't stop ringing. But if I'm not doing nothing, my phone is desert. Like, I always say one thing to people. I'm like, when do you ever hear my phone ring? And the answer is never. You never hear my phone ring. Like, you'll never hear it. But if you look through my phone and you probably see notifications, this, that, the third, whoop-de-whoop, bro, it's crazy how many notifications I will get from just different things, but nothing that really pertains to me. So then it's kind of like, to me, it's like, yo, why have, like, I got, like, in my phone, I probably have like 2,800 contacts. In like social media, I got like 5, 6,000 different people, 8,000, whatever. I only talk to like at most like 6 people. That's misery to me because it's like, okay, when it was, let's say like when somebody needs something or whatever, it's gonna turn like, let's say those people need something, no matter what, they'll forget the fact that yo, this nigga probably hasn't spoken to me in like years or hasn't spoken to me or whatever, but you know, hey, I need
but
him.
you're Cletus.
Yeah, that's my mans. He gonna make sure niggas think that everything's sweet, and it's like, bro, like, niggas go through real life shit. Niggas be lonely. People gotta, you know, that transition phase from being away for 7-8 years in places that you have never been before, not having access to family, your own resources, and then having to come back home, and then you try to talk to people not answering to you. You sitting here like, damn. If it was the other way around, I'd be super attentive.
How hard is it for you to say no?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard now.
No?
Cause like I said, when I was in the South, bro, I didn't have nothing. I had absolutely nothing, bro. Like, I was rotating. You see how my house is now. You see my closet. Like, you haven't even walked. Like, you just see just the clothes around, bro. I had like 5% of all the things you see. I had to rotate the same 4 pants for a year. Holes in it, still making it look wavy. Like, so now it's kind of like, bro, before I would be like, yeah, whatever you need. Nah, fuck that. No. Because when I needed you, or when I needed things, or when I was in a space that I didn't know if I was going to make it out, I didn't get those kind of conversations. I didn't get those calls. I didn't get those things. So for me, it's a little different now. Now I can say no. But I'm starting to also understand that when it comes to opportunities, there's certain things I just don't care to do anymore.
Do you feel like you're above it?
Yeah, way. Yeah. It's not even arrogance. It's more so like, I don't think that in life you always got to constantly keep proving yourself. I just don't think that's true. I think that certain things you don't lose. And I also think that certain people just don't work like you do. So, no. Just because it might look good, and it all comes to this whole perception thing we're talking about, doesn't mean that it works the way it's supposed to. It's like having a car that has like a nice G-Wagon outside, but under the hood is shitty as fuck. That's how I feel a lot of people, not people, but a lot of things that I'm involved in, kind of are when I see it. Like
yeah.
that, like a lot. Like I collab with people on events and stuff, and I'm just like, I can't do this shit again.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna do shit like this again. Just because it's like when I get to that point, the quality isn't there.
You think people don't take pride in their work
At all?
Why is
People
that?
just want
Why do you think
results.
people feel okay like skating?
It's results. As long as it looks cool and it sells, niggas gonna rinse for watch and repeat. If you don't like to work hard, bro, it is not fun to work hard.
No, that's why that's the very nature of the word work.
It's not fun. It's not like I said. Some people have anxiety, just in that, like having to really be out there and putting in certain type of effort. People don't want to do that shit. No. It's not easy. And you gotta think about people who have fear of failure.
100%. And again, that goes to the idea of social media. I see people love announcing stuff. I hate announcing stuff out of fear of failure. Because once you put it out there, it's out there. It's in the ether. People, even if you delete it right away, people always refreshing their feeds. Someone's bound to see it.
Facts. Like, one thing I'm trying to do is, I have this thing that I want to be the perfect 12 nigga, right? So, the 12 nigga to me is, like, you know, you got a 1 to 10. Like, oh, the girl be like, oh, what do you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
Oh, okay.
12 nigga. Like, you know, I'm trying to get to my 12 nigga. Like, and I'm still like, everybody around me right now, they in the gym, they doing the check-ins and all that. That's cool. I respect it. But me, I've never been a gym kind of guy. I've always been super confident in who I am because I've always understood that I'd take a 7 with intangibles over a 10 with nothing to offer. Besides they look any day. So, to me, a 7 with intangibles, you have intangibles, I give you like 2 extra points. So she'll be a 9 low key just because she gonna do what the 10 can't. So I like right now where I'm at is I'm trying to just reach that 12 nigga, become a 10, and then have the intangibles to match it, and then become a 12 nigga.
Why don't you think you're that now?
Because I know I can improve.
We can always improve. If you're a 12, you can always be 13.
I mean, I feel like
that's what life is about, though. For me, life is all about growth in one way or another. Like, I might not be happy where I'm at location and career wise, but like I'm always actively trying to learn something, learn how to cook something new. I started taking Muay Thai classes because in one way or another, you know, if you get 1% better every day after 365 days,
you 365% better. That's facts. That's facts. So how do you handle anxiety? What's your advice to somebody if they were suffering from anxiety, how to handle it?
It's not a one rule fits, but I do encourage. A colleague of mine says, I think everybody should talk to someone, whether you have problems or not. And I 100% agree with that. If you have the insurance and if you are not, even if you're not comfortable, I encourage you to just find someone to talk to. Because even if you're going through petty shit with your friends and it's just like you find yourself talking about it a lot, because people spend a lot of time talking about other people. Like, if you start to take tabs on your conversations, more often than not, it revolves around
talking about other people.
Yeah, in a good way or a bad way, it doesn't matter, but you're talking about someone. So to go to that person that is a third party, they don't have any skin in the game, they have nothing invested, and just to go there and just talk, that's really good. But if you are able-bodied, physical activity is great. Meditation, or find something that is meditative.
So I want to start doing yoga. I think because I want to start stretching. Pause. I ain't gonna say pause. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality and in my masculinity. I am not going to say pause. But what I'm saying, I feel like because I want to be one of them people that's going to be able to live here forever with my kids and my grandkids. Like, I think my parents, and I know this is a sidebar, but I think my parents low-key want me to find somebody so I could give them grandkids while they're still around. And I see it now because it's going to make them feel young again. And I actually spoke on one of the podcasts with my friend Fern and his baby mother, Bree, that I feel like people have kids and do things in life to find more excitement in their lives. Because, like, after you reach certain pedestals in life, shit gets boring. So, like, you know, you find somebody you like. Okay, I like them. Now you kiss them. Okay, what's next? Now I'm touching them. Okay, what's next? Now I'm pregnant. Now we fucking. Okay, now what's next? Now I impregnate her. Now what's next? Now we got a kid. Now the kid keeps us young. Okay, now what's next? Now the kid grows and we figure out how do we evolve with it. Like, just do shit all the time because you're bored and you want to evolve with it. So I'm trying to get to the point in my life that it's like, before I even get to that point, I want to be healthy. I want to have great kids. I want to give my parents grandkids and all that stuff. But I'm trying to find it within the rights of like what I want for myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just do it because everyone expects me to do it, because I don't like nobody right
Nobody
now.
wants to feel obligated to do anything.
Exactly.
When you put obligations and expectations into anything, it ruins it.
And that's why I want to do yoga. I feel like I got to stretch out. I feel like a lot of the health issues that people get is just because, like, I see people get humpback. Like, I start seeing, like, I already see people I know starting to develop that hunchback. I don't want that for myself. That shit's scary. Like, your body is not meant to be that way.
No.
And I'm trying to figure out ways to just, you know, put myself in situations that I don't have to deal with those health concerns later. I mean, yeah, I'm drinking a giant cup of God knows what. Shout out to the vibes. You know the fucking vibes. But yeah, espresso from the gentrified community. You know the vibes. But you know, I'm just trying to figure it out.
We're all just trying to figure it out, man. Yesterday at my uncle's birthday gathering party, whatever you want to call it, I met a couple people, and like, my uncle's an artist. He's an artist. He's a director, whatever. So like, real art kind of people. Like, this woman was like, "So are you into theater?" I was like, not really, shorty. I was like, that's not my scene. And it's funny because like, you got to know how to humor people too. So I'm like, so what would you recommend? It's like good entry level theater. She was a great woman. I really enjoyed the conversation. But like, so I'm like, you know, what would you say is good entry level theater? And she's like, nothing is entry level. And it's like,
all right.
But anyway, so the people I was meeting there yesterday, I told a few people, and I was like, I consider myself like a full-time existentialist.
Okay. Explain that for those who don't know what that word means.
Existential is basically like, why am I here? What does my purpose mean in the universe? It's real like, have you seen The Matrix?
No, I haven't.
So in The Matrix, boil it down real quick, they're all digitized basically. And like, if we were in the Matrix right now, these are not our real bodies. These are just what computers are generating, and our bodies are just like
whatever they are,
somewhere plugged in. And it's this idea of like, am I really here? Am I really in charge of what's happening? And kind of like what you were saying before, like when you said your parents want to see you have grandparents while they're still here, that's a very existential thing. So fuck, I totally lost my train of thought.
No, I get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, like, you're an existentialist in the sense that you're looking at things from a perspective that's like,
oh, I remember, like, at the end of the day, existentialists are very aware of how are we spending our time while we have it. And the idea of like, I want to be here for longer. These are things that I think about all the time. That's why I say like, I'm a full-time existentialist. But it's really interesting, like, kind of like what we were talking about before. You got to take the good with the bad. So like, as you get older, it's kind of like cycle of life. I don't know.
So what's your end goal?
My end goal is to be, it's very ambiguous, but it's really just to find fulfillment and just be what I think can be like the best idea of myself. Kind of like what we were saying. I can't remember we were saying it now. It's all about growth. It's all about growth. And I don't think you'll ever achieve your perfect self, but as long as you are enhancing or improving one way or another, that's it. I actually carry this thing around with me. Where is my wallet? Whatever, I'll find it. But basically it's saying like, what do I want? I want to do work that only I am uniquely able to do, and not work for someone else or some uninterested third party.
Fair enough.
So that's kind of now, how is that going to look? Who knows, man? What is that going to end up looking like? I'm not sure yet. And that's why I say like, we're all just trying to figure it out too.
As you should.
So
you asked a very deep question, and I think it's time that we talk about it.
Okay.
You asked me, what do I define as the culture?
Yo, the way that people talk about, and like, And I asked that because the way people talk about it now, like I felt like I was in Star Wars. Like people command on the culture for like the Force. Like I feel like, and that's the way it's really manifesting now, in in the culture. Like people said, someone said like, oh, we got to get Jussie the fuck out. Like the culture needs to get him out of here. Like one person is the culture, but everyone is the culture at the same time too.
So when I define the culture as an ecosystem of similarities that have or that revolve around things that people care about, that also only are formed out of things that similar people go through. So for example, like rap music is a form that came out of people in the Bronx, like hip hop, that were once enslaved, that are speaking about things that people in those lower socioeconomic urbanized communities could relate to, right? So you're talking about people being sometimes in poor and poverty, and not just talking about poverty like physical poverty, like where you live, but mental poverty, like not having certain information, accessible to you. So when I think of hip hop, I think of hip hop is a part of that culture, and those who understand that thing is a part of that culture. Like why some people may hate gentrification, because the culture for some people is that, we are this thing. We've always known this. This is a part of what we've always understood. Then there's people who, just because they have certain information available to them, they're able to do certain financial things that are now forcing us to leave the one thing that we all identified a part of what we know. Like gentrification is only bad because it affects culture. It's not because it affects. It's not like, making somebody's community better financially or adding certain things to the community to boost the economy is a bad thing. It's the fact that the cultural things or the nuances within the culture that people understand, respect, whatever, those are not taken into consideration when a lot of these decisions are being made.
Can the culture combat gentrification?
Yes, but the thing is, the culture would have to then have the resources. The culture would have to own the things that they're passionate about. And that's why, like, for me, like, I look at, for example, we're in Staten Island right now. Yeah. Staten Island, if you're from here, you see what's going on. Like a lot of Asians, Jewish, and Arabs are buying up everything. There's a lot of development happening by the ferry, which has never been there. By the ferry area traditionally has been like the hood. If you want to be technical, like St. George area is really like the business district, but it's also the hood. Like Jersey Street is 5 minutes from the ferry. That's New Brighton. New Brighton is not someplace that most people would want to live on Staten Island. You know what I mean? But like Park Hill and Bay Street, all those things, those areas are not places that people on Staten Island traditionally want to live. Like even where you are right now, you're in the harbor. You see when you parked your car, you look up, there's a bunch of project buildings looking right in your face. This area, a lot of people do not want to live because this is considered the hood. You know what I'm saying? But what you're seeing with a lot of these gentrifiers or people coming in is like they're starting to now put all this money into like certain places because one is cheap, two, they're going to push a lot of people in these spaces out. Like they're not going to even be able to live here, even though a lot of them have contributed to the growth of the community. Now, when we say in the growth of the community, it's just talking about even people just staying here. You know what I mean? Staten Island ain't one of them places that people want to stay. It's a bubble. Things don't really evolve here. You know, I guess, like I said, it all depends on your morals. It really comes down to what you morally think is right or wrong. Do you think that people coming in that don't understand Staten Island, that haven't invested a lot in Staten Island, had sons die on the block for Staten Island, have, helped so-and-so who lived in this area, who had a grandmother that was 80 years old and cutting her grass and make sure her house looks decent. People raising their kids up here, being involved here, maintaining a space, a moment of time here. Like, you're not going to consider any of those people's thoughts, emotions, anything in terms of how you're going to then take this community and move them all out because they can't afford to be here when all they've known is here. It's kind of like that. It's like it's moral. It's all moral. It's not like, am I wrong as a businessman who had the resources and see the potential to buy houses, buy waters, and want to build them up? Am I wrong for wanting to do that? No. But then it's like, where's your moral compass? If I came to your community, bought up everything you ever owned and loved, and say you guys got to move, and I'm going to turn into something completely different.
So really, like, it boils down to resources.
Resources, education, and the involvement of those who help curate what that culture is, or help make popular things that you now love or see potential in?
I think creators, and in this specific context, black creators are the most empowered to combat gentrification, because that's what draws people to certain areas. It's culture. Mm-hmm. That's why New York City is getting so gentrified, because it's New York City
is, yeah.
And as shitty as internet and social media is now, there's so many people out right now, especially creatives, showing others how to protect themselves and to empower themselves, and that's the luxury of information at the moment. Mm-hmm. I think, if that makes sense.
That's fair. No, I'm thinking, because what I was really worried about, well, not worried, but what I was really thinking about is when you said what the culture is, I wonder within what terms and conditions you was talking about. Because sometimes the culture for hip hop, like when we think about young millennials and we talk about like urban, and when I say urban, I'm not even just talking like black people. I'm talking about people from these spaces.
So then I guess the question comes then, like, is it just hip hop? Is the culture hip hop, or like is a young graphic designer who's freelancing, doing logos and stuff like that, can they be part of the culture? And if so, like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I really like that you said ecosystem. Yeah. I think that's very, very accurate.
Because when I look at the culture, right, I look at it in many different ways. Mm-hmm. I look at it first as, no offense, but black people dictating the culture. Like, I agree with that. Pop culture is whatever black culture is, because it's the most simplest way for things to spread. Because if you ever think of anything that black people have touched, it usually has come from lack of resources, not a lot of expertise in a lot of mm-hmm. things, but it's simple. It's simple, it's doable, it's pleasurable, it brings joy and happiness, it's vibrant, it's creative. It's everything like any multi-trillion-dollar thing is. It's usually simple, it's easily branded, and it brings joy to people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when I think of like the culture for us, I think it's usually simple. I think it's something that has to do with bringing positivity and or serving a problem, like solving a problem or bringing awareness to something. Like NWA is as much as the culture as Lil Uzi is, or XXX is, because NWA at that time was talking about fuck the police, and then at the time with like XXX and Lil Uzi, they talking about just being yourself, or XXX talking about depression. That's mm-hmm. as much as the culture, because those are all things that people, one, who either love those things have to go through, or young black people can resonate with because they are like them. So when I think of the culture, I think of, like I said, stuff being simplified. I think of enjoyment, pleasure, solving an issue, filling a void. I think of hip hop being a common thread. I think of comedy. I think of certain people coming in and not just profiting off of the culture because they can. But I also see the culture moving forward. You know, the evolution, the growth, the involvement, you know, people paying attention. When I think culture, I think style. I think an unwritten rules or code of ethics within the culture. Like, there's certain things that you just don't, like back in the day, OGs will tell you, like, you never disrespect a woman. Like, even now, like, there's young dudes that might talk some wild shit on social media and whatever, but you'll never do that in front of your OG. Mm-mm. Like, your OG might disrespect somebody because that's, you know, he a pimp.
Yo, but these kids are crazy.
But this also has to do with the fact there's no code of ethics. There's no OGs around to even guide these kids. There's nobody to say, like, yo, like the culture, like, I feel like these culture conversations are hard because it's like, it really depends on the individual who's around in it. And then it really depends on the time frame of which everything is occurring too, because things change.
In today's day and age, though, I feel like the culture is getting to a point that it's so prevalent and powerful that do people need an OG to learn from it? So. You think so? Why? So the OG is a conduit.
It's like mentorship. I believe that you need an OG because I don't know everything. I haven't seen everything. Yeah, the blueprint, or the way that things happen is different. But there's things that I can learn from somebody who came before me. Like, I feel like I should never have to start at the same point as my parents have. Because they've been there. It's like generational wealth. If Donald Trump had to start from ground zero, you think he'd be the president right now? Fuck him
in a stupid fucking game.
Of course,
a small loan of $1 million.
Come on.
What a fucking
Imagine
asshole.
someone gave you a loan of $1 million, and on top of that, you probably never went to public school. You've been educated he went to Ivy League institutions because he had people in his family go there before him. That's legacy privilege. Shit is crazy.
Yeah, that's privilege.
Like, imagine I go to Harvard today,
yeah.
And my great grandson said my grandfather went to Harvard.
Boom.
He's in. Mm-hmm. He's in.
I hate that means something. Like, so what? That's your fucking grandpa.
They think that, I
think everyone should be measured on their own merits and their own worth. I like that, and that's why there's so much. So, like, I work at a school, and I see a lot of like entitlement amongst everyone. And everyone of every background, it's some type of entitlement in some form, which is, I don't know, man, it's crazy. I've never been the type. I try not to be entitled to things, at least. So, I don't know, man. It's a crazy world we live in.
How do we make it less crazy?
I think that's a very hard, because the world has always been crazy.
How do you make it less crazy for yourself?
For yourself, it's just being aware of yourself and being doing your best to be conscious of your actions and the consequences of them. And also, like, kind of like what we were saying before, like fear of failure, you got to be willing to admit that you're wrong. You have to be willing to be accountable. And it's different. It's different for everyone. That's actually a very hard question.
Let's try to figure it out, because I think that this whole podcast is gonna be like hard to figure out, because culture is such an abstract thing. Like, if I Google the word culture right now, right? Let me see what I could come up with. What the definition of culture is. The first thing that comes up is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively.
Ecosystem.
How things function. The things that come of the functioning or the functionality of something. And the things that come because of it. While everyone regards it collectively. We all come together and agree like this is the culture. Like, so... Would you say, like, Lil Wayne is a part of the culture?
100%.
Okay. Would you say Big Daddy Kane is a part of the culture?
Well, first of all, actually, before I answer any further questions, am I authorized to answer these?
I think you're a part of the culture.
Bow.
You love black women more than most black men do.
Out here.
And you're not sexualizing them.
I that's one thing. I'm aware of the things that I do. I'm like, do I seem like I'm fetishizing black women and black culture and all these things? And I would actually, when I was a kid, I would see, like, and this is also before I really hung out with people of color, I would see like a certain, like, I'm embarrassed I owned something that was FUBU.
Why?
Because it's for us, by us, and technically.
See, but this goes back to that cultural conversation. Like, you're in a space, like New York City is a space that...
Big Daddy Kane is part of the culture.
Of course. But New York City is one of those spaces that's like, you look around here, there's people that have lived, breathed, like raised in these environments, and to say that they're not a part of the culture is kind of like, how could I not? Because they are going through the same everyday struggle as probably everybody else. They're hanging out with people. They're exposed to things that only those who we would consider a part of the culture are going through, and they embrace it like everybody else. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that you're a part of the culture. Now, is there things in blackness that you can't speak about? Of course, because that's just not you. You wasn't.
Duh.
Yeah. Like certain things that you could be able to get away with. Sadly, I couldn't. because, and I don't think that completely as true, but I also think that, you know, we're still in America, and as long as you're an American or black while being American, there's still people that are prejudiced towards that. As weird as that sounds to me.
People are obsessed with the idea of the other. People hate things that, or not hate things, but they are so uncomfortable and scared of things that they don't have a direct attachment to or direct relationship to. Mm-hmm. Background, ethnic, sexual, religious, whatever it may be. And that's kind of like what I was saying before, like being aware. Most people lack empathy, and they lack the ability to just for a second imagine what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. And I think for someone of my background, a first generation Hungarian American, grew up in the sticks, I would not be part of the culture had I not been fortunate enough to be born with the ability to empathize. Mm-hmm. And kind of like what you were saying before, like, again, with awareness, certain things I can get away with that you can't. I do my best to be aware and identify when my privilege is happening, and it's a very hard thing.
And it's not so much your fault.
It's nobody's fault.
Like, you didn't know that you're gonna be born the way you was born. You didn't know that certain people in this world will perceive you a certain type of way. That's why I don't get mad. And yo, bro, people get mad. I don't give a fuck. Like, cause it's at the end of the day, like, yo, everybody got their trump card. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has that thing that's like, fuck. There you go, boom. Here's my red eyes.
That's Full House, yeah.
Yeah, here's my spade. Here's my jokers. You know what I mean? Like,
the Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
You feel me? Like, oh, you thought you had me. Boom. Here's my PDA card. Call the commissioner. Let him know what nigga.
You know, sometimes I ask people, though, I'm curious to see what you think, and it's an interesting thing to hear what other people have to say. Mm-hmm. What is the most privileged privilege?
Wealth.
Okay, yeah.
It's wealth.
Uh-huh.
And in America is wealth, because you got to think about, in America is a capitalistic society. So the things that drive power in America is money.
Mm-hmm. That's capitalism. That's gentrification.
So, yeah, in that case, it's wealth. I think in other places it's relationships. In other places it might be, you know,
so it's
fear.
It's the context.
Yeah.
Fear. You said fear is a privilege?
Yeah. Because, like, there's people here that are, like, we're talking stand out. There's people here that have so much protection, respect, because they're so, like, grandfather was a mob person. Like, people are still in fear of people's relatives who are associated with certain mobs from years ago. Like, you got certain entitlements.
That's a social status, though.
Yeah.
Fear is an emotion.
But the fear of disrespecting somebody who may potentially have the ties. Like, imagine my reputation was Cletus the Killer, and that was my grandfather. You would assume that I still have some of that in me, not realizing, like, yo, nah, I'm not even nothing like that. But that's fear.
I don't think you're a killer.
I
think you're a very sweet man.
I appreciate you, bro. You're a good man as well. I pray God blesses you with everything you deserve and more.
Appreciate it, bro.
Allah too. I hope Allah gives you some stuff too.
There we go.
There you go. But yeah, it's fear. Like I said, like, imagine, like, my great grandfather was Genghis Khan. Like, you gotta respect that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, he might not be that way, but you never know.
I think I might be related to Genghis Khan.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm dead ass.
Why is that? Because he's Hungarian?
Hungary? I think Hungary was conquered by the Mongolian Empire. Someone was telling me yesterday that I kind of look Asian.
So you look Asian?
A little bit.
Nah, I don't see it, bro. But it's alright. It's alright. I ain't hating. But yeah, when it comes to cultural conversations, I think it's always difficult because I don't think
you can't measure it.
Yeah, like, is complex a part of the culture, or are they just speaking on behalf of the culture?
They have become a part of the culture, but kind of like what I was saying before, like, everything demands balance. It's getting to the point now where I'm not entirely sure if complex is a good thing or a good part of the culture. It's kind of like I don't want to call it gossip, but it's become a very interesting source of media. A friend of mine just got a job at Complex, and like, shout outs to him. Like, he's doing awesome for himself, but just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the idea, the concept could be. I think the people that try to get involved are of the culture, but I don't think the company itself is of the culture, no.
Why is that?
Because
are they culture vultures? Well, the company.
They definitely profit off the culture.
Yeah.
They definitely find people who are accepted or bypass a lot of question and scrutiny, and then they put them in those spaces to be able to now speak on behalf of the culture. And then basically they aren't getting the payout for it. They aren't getting the recognition for it. It's really complex getting the recognition for it. It's kind of like if I'm black and I hire a bunch of white people to do stuff. Yeah, you know, I'm black. You know, God bless that. But I hire a bunch of a bunch
of me's.
Not so much. Well, yeah, low key. I hire like 30 of you
undercover
and be like, bro, I need you to help me bypass this shit. Let's talk about what's going on in those spaces, and let's really. Yeah, you'll be Noah, you know what I mean? Or, you know, I'll be fucking Noah, or I'll be, you know, Mr. Echo or whatever. But then at the day, like, the people who was really in there, like, academics and, you know, Joe Budden at a time. And,
I love Joe Budden.
What's his name? Sleepy? Scooty Norman?
Yes. Yeah. I know
like, all them guys, like.
Scooter? Yeah.
So he went to Syracuse, too, which is crazy. He knew house. So I'm assuming that was going to happen eventually for him. But, you know. If I'm one of those guys and I'm speaking on behalf of culture and I'm bypassing certain things or whatever, yeah, just because you're the guy I'm speaking to don't mean you're the guy in charge. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it's interesting to see that because, like, you would hope that the guy in charge really cares about what's going on and really understands. Because then, like, certain things, like, certain people be covering, like, especially hot new hip hop. They love talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine. And Tekashi 6ix9ine is, like, 5% of what the culture really is.
You think 5% is not being generous? I think
it's being really generous, but it's just a minuscule amount in comparison to what the culture really is. Like, I have like a concept that I want to build that speaks on the things that really are the culture. Like, it's an entire like media platform.
That's why podcasting is so popular, because it gives people the opportunity to talk about the culture that they're a part of and identify with and profit from, whether it be socially or economically.
I have like 50 episodes I've never put out.
You're sitting on content. You're like Lil Wayne, bro. You just got mad songs.
Yeah.
You're just sitting on content.
Because I don't want to just put out anything either, though. I feel like this is a time for me to be able to work on crafts and really not even just like keep, but momenticize, I guess. Is that the word? Like, make this as like
sharpen the swords.
Like as a keepsake.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like working on it. Yeah.
Like, bro, there's gonna be a time like in life that you're gonna be so far removed from this kind of mentality and this kind of lifestyle.
It's a time capsule. I started video journaling. Like when I got a lot of shit like on my mind, when I'm in one of those existential states, and you know, especially like Sundays are weird for me because it's going into the new work week. Yeah, I started doing that because I always said like, oh, I'm gonna journal, and I sit down and start typing in front of my computer, and then I'm like, fuck this. But I started doing video journaling. I just open up my camera, turn the video on, I look at myself, and I just kind of rant.
How's that been going for you?
It's good. Taking up a lot of storage. It's messing up my iCloud. But no, I think it's good, and I think it's good to reflect on and just even like see your body language too, the way you talk about certain things, and literally vocalizing things do a lot for people. Like kind of like managing your crazy or managing your anxiety. That's one way that I do it. Like I need to express, and what's better than just literally just talking it out.
I like that.
And just reflecting too. Being reflective is really important. On my drive down here on Friday to El's crib, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was interviewing Mike Tyson. Yeah, that's Mike Tyson, and he said something, and it was so profound to me. And I know he wasn't trying to be profound, but he said, actually, context. Joe was saying like, it's crazy that you went through what you went through. Like you were the king of the world, basically. And you're able to honestly look back at how you acted then. And Mike said, you have to reflect on yourself to discover who you really are. Mm-hmm. And he just said that, and I was like, again, that's really profound to me. And I don't think enough people take the time, because life is so crazy, because we're so stressed. We just want to unwind, because reflecting takes effort. But I do think it's important to take 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes just to reflect. And that's how I've been doing it.
That's deep. I'll be doing that too. I've been doing that too. I don't think it has been in that form, but like when I sleep, I'm a dreamer.
I never remember my dreams.
I'm a dreamer. Like I play out scenarios in my dreams before they come to terms. Like this is probably the first time I ever really spoke about it too outwardly. But I'm a dreamer. I'm one of those people that like when I sleep is when I really figure out my next steps. Like I feel like there's something in my subconscious that has to align with my conscious. Like I'm trying to bring my subconscious life to my conscious one way or another. Because I believe that, you know, I always say it all the time, I believe I'm a walking trillionaire. I believe that
premature.
I'm a genius. Yeah, premature trillionaire. I believe I'm a genius in my own right. I believe that there's things I can do that no one else can do. I believe that I'm amazing in my own right, as you are. That's why we're so connected. You know what I mean?
Because you're aware of who you want to be. Like I'm in a way, like I'm obsessed with myself, and I'm obsessed with my individuality, and I think you are too, to a certain degree. You're like, I am Cletus. Like there's I am Cletus, but also I am Cletus, and you are trying to get that duality of your subconscious and your conscious to meet.
Yeah, and it's hard.
It's incredibly difficult.
It's very hard to do, because like I said, spiritually, I think it's one of those things that's like, if your sole focus was only on you, then maybe it wouldn't be too bad. But then you got all these whammies of life that happens. You know what I mean? You got family.
You were saying this the other day.
Yeah. You got family. You got all the things that come with family. You got all the things that come with life. You got needs. You know, you could be the most super self-aware motherfucker, but you don't want to be poor. You don't want to be broke financially. No. You know, and this is, like I said, as long as you live in America, what really fuels life is the dollar. So you need to have a couple in your pocket. You know what I mean? So trying to find that balance between being who you are, being self-aware, understanding who you are, understanding the things that make you tick and makes you happy, while having to then deal with the shit that you don't really care about doing for the bread, or trying to level up to a way that you're getting paid the value that you feel you deserve for the things that you do. Like I say it all the time, I don't think an hour of my life is worth $30. Like, this was an hour. Did you think this was...
That's a very existential way of thinking.
Like, bro, like, this was an hour of your time that you can never get back. Did you think it was worth $30? And you had to drive up here. If I was like, all right, bro, thank you for coming. Here's $30. Stay blessed. You gonna look at me like, nigga, like...
I mean, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, but you would be like... You didn't even have to, like... The value of this is worth more than $30.
100%.
To the both of us.
I mean, you on Friday, you were like, I wish I could give you my Easy Pass. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why? No, like my roommate Anthony, you know Anthony, right? Yeah. He just bought a bunch of like studio equipment, and he's like, "Yo, this is a sacrifice." And I'm like, "It's not a sacrifice. It's an investment." And that's why perspective again is so important. It's so important, man. We live in a crazy world, man, and you just really got to know how to balance your means, but you also need to be aware that means are not the only thing that fuel fulfillment.
It's not the end to the means. The means, yeah, I get you.
It's all perspective, bro. It really is. You were asking me before, though, about... I keep checking my thing. You were asking me before about podcasting, though, if it's more important than vlogging. Mm-hmm. I think podcasting is the most utilitarian, the most universal form of media out right now. And that's why it's more important than vlogging, because vlogging, you have to like, hi everyone, this is my YouTube video, welcome to my channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see my past videos. You can click up here. It's kind of performance.
Yeah.
And also like it doesn't really, if I just made a vlog of me just shooting the shit and just doing this, and like I was like, I'm a vlogger, like I don't know, it's kind of weird. But podcasting, if you get a decent studio, automatically you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Also, I got this from Gary Vee. I was listening to his Hot Ones interview. You bring up like a type to text, something like that. You got the transcript of it too, so people can read it. It's a very easy medium, and it's so accessible. Because sometimes there's some performance too when people get in front of a camera. They're not themselves.
Yeah.
Like we're cozy right now. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be, or even I got here, I gotta leave. If we had to set up the studio and everything, like it's not as accessible of a medium. Mm-hmm. And people are dying to create. I'm dying to create. That's why when you said pull up, I was like,
let's do this.
I'm pulling up. And that's why podcasting is so important. And that's why it's really blowing up. And it's very easy too. Not everyone can sit down and watch a YouTube video. And even like if you're listening on your phone, if you accidentally click out,
still playing.
YouTube's like, do you want YouTube Red? Fuck you.
And
your fucking YouTube
Yo,
Red.
YouTube Red, that should have been a thing.
Most people don't even want to pay for their Netflix. You think I'm going to pay for YouTube?
And them niggas is paying it too.
That's crazy.
And I'm sitting here like, bro, why?
That's privilege.
That is privilege. I'm like, yo, YouTube has been free forever. And they've been here forever doing what YouTube's supposed to do. And you want me to now pay for YouTube Red? Just so that
it's like I lock my phone.
Yeah, like, nigga, what? Like, nigga, play.
That's crazy.
Nigga, I'll stop listening to YouTube. I'll go right to SoundCloud if YouTube wants some bullshit. Like, I'll go right to SoundCloud.
That's why you just rip the audio and video to MP3 format.
That's it. Vid to mp3.com. Fuck you.
But yeah, that's why like when like Joe put his podcast on Spotify, I use Spotify. I was like, thank God. Now I don't have to like always use like SoundCloud or YouTube.
You know what's crazy? I'm in this space that I'm trying to figure out, do I want to go with Apple or Tidal?
Makes sense.
And I feel like everybody's on Apple.
Everybody's on Apple.
But I feel like Tidal, it's like kind of like Android versus like iPhone kind of thing. Blessings.
Whoa.
Blessings. Like on Apple, everybody uses it. It's user friendly. It's very simple. But Tidal, I feel like the experience of what Tidal has to offer is way better.
See, I've been using Spotify. Like I listen to a lot of music, so I've been using Spotify for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. And I fuck with Spotify too.
But like before Tidal and before Apple were really streaming, so I got skin in the game, and a lot of my like favorite songs I've learned from the curated podcast on Spotify. I tried Apple Music a couple times, and
it's not it.
Nah, I didn't like the OS. I just didn't like the experience as much. Even something like iDrive. So if I'm trying to like cue a song on Spotify, I can just swipe. On Apple, I have to press cue song. Like it's just not as user friendly. I don't know. I'm waiting for my Spotify deal.
I mean, you should.
I look good in green and black. That's what I'm wearing right now.
You should be on Spotify. Spotify needs like regular niggas. I feel like Spotify gets people who
Can people stream on Spotify?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I know most people do like Apple, SoundCloud, and Stitcher.
I just feel like the culture isn't involved in that other stuff. Like when I say the culture, there's people that they'll get, but I'm talking about the real influences of the culture, not like these niggas that kind of became influencers, like people that you actually like look up to, like people you actually care to listen to.
My man Julian, I was talking to him yesterday. Shout outs to Julian and Roundtable. Mm-hmm. Shout outs to them. He told me he was watching some series called like Hustler. I can't remember.
Oh, the one in Brooklyn.
He was saying the difference. He was talking to me about the difference between like influencers that we know them as and like micro influencers, and I think the micro influencers are in ways much more important than, because there's more micro influencers in the culture than the
graduate.
Hi, well, this is my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Bro, like you gotta think about this is like probably like episode 40, if not. Like, bro, but nobody but you know me as, oh, that's Cleese, he does whatever he fucking does, not knowing that, yo, I'm already on 40 episodes, and that's not even considered if I want to cut a lot of them up. And this is, we've already an hour and 4 minutes in.
Let them have it. Eat your hearts out.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm still here just chilling. Like, fuck it. I don't care, because I find pleasure in just being able to do it. Like, I'm not doing this shit for the recognition, but I do believe that there's merit in this. I do believe that people are going to be able to learn from these conversations. That's why I called it Talk Ain't Cheap, because I do believe there's jewels and gems in every conversation. Like you say.
I don't believe that. In every conversation?
a conversation, like a worthwhile, like niggas not just talking just to talk.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because most people be full of shit.
OD.
I say all the time, authenticity has become a commodity.
Yeah.
Authenticity is very hard to find nowadays. That's something, that's why on my Instagram, I call myself an authentic eccentric. Because I'm a weirdo, but I'm authentic about it. Like, who you see is who you're going to get. And most people, I don't want to say most people. That's being a lot of niggas is full of
bullshit, bro. Everybody just wants, like, it's kind of like if you was to peel back the layers of everybody and really figure out what niggas really wanted from themselves, it'd probably be like kind of pathetic that it had to take the peeling back of multiple layers just to figure out what the fuck you really wanted. Like for me, like, you probably know, like, all right, well, Cleese's end goal is to probably be like super successful financially, but really just be himself, live his life, travel, be on the beach somewhere, make sure his family good, own shit in his community that he could be able to, like, oh, you need a job, you don't steal, you good people, here.
You're a man of the people.
Let's work. Here's some bread. Make sure you make my shit valid. My shit fucking up, you out of here. I'm sorry, you got charged to the game. Like, imagine, like, being able to just hire all the little young niggas that come running around your neighborhood. Like, bro, you don't even gotta do that. Just come here. You need a job? Here. This is what you gonna be doing. Get your bread up. You need to learn how to do some shit like this? All right, here. Now you know how to do it. Now create your own shit.
Give a man, I'm messing up the quote, but I use it all the time. Oh, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime.
Yeah. Like, that's what I would want to do. But then at the same time, you can't, like, this life that we live, like, some people just tainted, bro. Some niggas is just tainted. Life is real. This shit is not easy. Not everybody's genuine. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure out how to find a balance and everything. Like,
balance is the most important thing.
I'm learning that.
The universe, again, it demands balance. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
That's a fact.
And that's one of the few laws of science. Like, even evolution isn't a law yet. It's accepted by most people, but that's like gravity. That's a fact. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And I think the same holds true for, like, energies. For every good person, I think there's a bad person. For every really good person,
the really bad person. And there's only, like, what they say, it's only 10% of a culture that's really bad.
Yeah.
So there's probably 10% of a culture.
But it's a spectrum, really, though. It's a spectrum. Nothing is absolute. So there might be 10% who are just bad, but 5% who are like, you're kind of sus.
Facts.
And then so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'm still figuring this shit out every day, bro. Cause I want to be a young nigga with lots of money. I swear. I
feel you.
Like, I know money ain't it, and I don't think it is. Cause, like, yo, just
but
some of the spaces, like, just being in certain spaces I've been able to be in, it wasn't because of the bread. It's because of resources, because of relationships. But it'd be nice to be able to have resources, relationships, and the equity to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care. Like, if I could do this all day, every day, and just talking to people I care about, or talking to people I don't really care about, but they're, like, super famous, and I'm looking at this nigga like, bro, you full of bullshit in my own space, and he has to just respect it because he knows that the space that he's in could really potentially help him or harm him. So he has to be true to himself. That's real nigga shit. Like, I want to be able to live in a space that's like, yo, real niggas actually could live forever. Because a lot of real niggas don't. A lot of real niggas really, they don't. They put you in prison for being real these days, man. They put the founders of, man. Yeah, it's kind of like all the weirdos and the freaks are the ones that's getting all the attention, but the ones
that culture.
Yeah.
Like what we were saying before, I don't even know if I might have to peel soon, but
no, that's fine.
Like what we were saying before, like people copying people. That's why the clout culture is so toxic, because the actions in and of themselves are toxic, but because the people copying them aren't creative enough to do it on their own, they're doing extreme things, and it's catching like wildfire because people they see something that works. Oh, they can do it. I can do it, and it's spreading because I don't know, man. People like that creativity, kind of like what you were saying.
Niggas is weirdos.
Weird.
It's just sad to me that attention has became so prevalent. Like, it's became so important. Because
attention, it's a commodity. Like, people, if they can measure the attention and they capitalize off it. But all that shit, it's microwave. It comes and it goes. I'd rather have something that's more sustainable myself. That's why I don't do nothing for the clout or just for the sake of doing it. It has to be authentic. Not as many people might gravitate towards it, but you build up something slowly but surely that's gonna have the staying power.
That's real. All right, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming all the way over here, bro.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the hospitality.
If people want to see you, hear you, watch you, follow you, give you attention, give you resources, you know what I mean, give you the energy that whatever you deserve, how could they find you? Where they gotta go?
I'm really I'm on Instagram. I don't really do Twitter as much anymore, but my Instagram is Joachim Koka, JOACHIM.KOKA. If you're interested in what I retweet in my random angsty tweets, that's Off-White Wacky. That's OFFWHITE Wacky.
Have you thought about getting a job with
WIKE? No, I'm bugging. WAKIE.
WAKIE. Have you ever thought about getting a job with Off-White?
I would.
You would be really good for Off-White.
I was Off-White before Off-White was Off-White.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Out here, with Off-White Wacky, Champagne Wacky, Wacky Balboa, Wacky Fleeky Flames. Yes, I know it's extra for Guac Walk. Tuh.
Oh, chill out. Man, you making me want to go back and go through my life, my lineage of moments. Cause I was Cleus the Prince, I was Hot Boys Clee, I was Mr. You Know the Face, You Know the Name, Mr. Talk to Me Nice, Don't Talk to Me at All, Mr. Tantalizing, Mr. She Loves the Way My Energy Tastes.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, it used to get greasy in these streets. It used to get greasy in these streets, bro. But now I'm Cleesville Talk. I'm Mr. Be Like Butter. You know what I mean?
Butter, Land O'Lakes.
That's it, man. Everybody can't be butter. That's why they got margarine.
Shoot.
You feel me?
Yikes.
It's real out here.
It's spooky out here.
It's international Clee, immaculate Clee if I'm in the country.
Oh, okay.
If I'm out of the country,
stateside.
Yeah, if
I'm so happy you're on this side of the pond, bro.
Yo, I'm glad to be here. You know? Yo, people might who the fuck these niggas think they are?
Fuck it, you getting them stamps.
I gotta charge it to the game. Just
put it on my tab.
Hashtag live like Cletus.
There you go.
International Clee, bro. All right, bro.
I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. It's so nice to see you, and I'm glad that you came all the way over here. You didn't have to come over here. So.
I had to.
I mean,
the culture demanded it.
That's a fact.
It's mandated.
That's facts.
It's written.
I appreciate you. God bless you, bro. I wish you nothing but unlimited success, blessings, happiness, joy. I hope that anything that you're dealing with doesn't take you under but builds you up. And I just pray that you become everything that you know you are meant to become, and that when you do become it, I'm not going to be surprised. That's like with all my friends who are becoming super successful. I'm not surprised by it at all. And it's just another matter of time. Same thing I said to Lionel. Just a matter of time. The same thing I'm going to say to you. It's just a matter of time.
He's international right now.
He should have been, but
No, he's in Japan right now.
He's in Japan, but he's a GOAT. He's been doing shit that niggas been doing for years. For years and years.
Yeah.
He's doing shit that niggas just started doing now, years ago. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. And when he does, bro, it ain't no looking back. And I'm excited for him, Sam, Holy Boy that's dancing, him, even Jared. Jared always been a funny nigga, but to the fact that it's the way it is now is really a blessing. I'm happy for him. Genuinely. There's a lot of niggas like that. I think Young Prince is coming soon, too. Like I said, there's a lot of people that I know is going to do a lot of amazing work. And when that time comes, it's really just no looking back. Yeah. Just no looking back. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. Just to see it come to pass. And hopefully be one of the people that really, really make it move forward. Just a matter of time.
I agree. And same to you, bro.
God
Nothing
bless,
but the
bro.
best.
All right, yo. Well, y'all tuned in to Talk Ain't Cheap, man. And y'all know it's usually ain't that deep, man. Y'all know follow the brand. At Cleus_Real Talk. Y'all know the face. Y'all know the name now. Y'all know the brand. Hashtag live like butter. Hashtag put it on a shirt.
What?
Yeah, man. You got to put it on a shirt. If you don't put it on a shirt, it don't exist, man.
What?
I swear to God. You got to put it on a shirt. If you don't put Wacky Balboa on a shirt, it don't exist. You feel me? It don't matter.
Kawaki.
Yeah.
Walk to Miss Prime.
Everything got to be put on a shirt. If it's not on a shirt, it don't exist. Hashtag put on a shirt. You heard it here first. Hashtag put on a shirt. So, yeah, man. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Fuck no. Yeah, we out. Stay blessed, y'all. Hope nothing but good things coming your way. Peace, prosperity, all that good shit. Y'all know the vibes.